Hey, hey, Virgo, Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here. Excited to bring in your January 2026 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the month ahead has in store for you. Now, Virgo, I am being shown a bottle of kombucha. Some of you may make your own kombucha, or perhaps you are balancing out your gut flora. You may be taking a look at your health. And I'm also being shown here a refrigerator that is stocked with fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. So a lot of you are focusing on your health at this time. And you may also be taking a look at what you consume on a daily. This includes what you watch, what you listen to, the conversations that you participate in, the people that you surround yourself with. So I know January can be a New Year's resolution month where you're thinking about your intentions, you're thinking about your goals, but it feels like you are wanting to create and maintain a healthy lifestyle, not just a resolution that may fall to the wayside months down the road. It feels like you want to get back into some sort of healthy practice or routine, and it feels like it is taking a holistic approach towards your life. So looking at it, not just the physical, not just taking the supplements, not just putting a quick fix on something, but actually getting to the root, which is interesting because that was also connected to Leo's reading as well. And I know that some of you Virgos have Leo placements or you're dealing with a Leo, but I wanted to mention that. Now, Virgo, you have self-love coming through. Self-love has to do with acceptance. Accepting that there are things, there are people, there are situations that you cannot change. But instead of focusing your time and energy on those things that you cannot change, you have the wisdom to know the difference. And you have the wisdom to know what is within your own control, how you respond, how you react, how you show up in your life. And I see that you have taken accountability to heal some of your own sabotaging behaviors or patterns, Virgo. And I see that many of you are practicing self-care routines. Sometimes these can be uncomfortable. Sometimes it can be sitting with a therapist. It can be doing some of the shadow work. It can even be addressing uncomfortable conversations with people who have hurt you. But I see that you are moving into an energy that feels much more aligned with this version of yourself that you are becoming. And so self-love is you taking care of you, not settling for less than you deserve, not silencing that beautiful voice of yours, and taking care of your body, taking care of that mind of yours. And I've been talking a lot about mental health and the power of our mindset lately because we have the opportunity to view the world through the lens of abundance, through the lens of opportunity and growth and evolution. And we also have the opportunity, now neither is right nor wrong, it's our free will choice. We can also choose to view the world through the lens of scarcity, through the lens of limitation and fear. And I feel like you are flipping the script here on whatever in your life feels limiting or whatever has held you back, Virgo. It's like you're pushing through with compassion and you're saying, I owe it to myself. I owe it to myself to live and lead a better life, even if that may disappoint others. It's not like you're intentionally wanting to hurt people, but you also are wanting to love yourself and hold yourself a bit tighter. Now, self-love also has to do with confidence. The more that you continue to choose and make choices that feel healthy, that make you feel more aligned with the life that you want to live, the more confident you will become. And so I see self-love being a big part of not only your 2026 energy, and if you happen to catch your yearly reading, I think you guys had the best one out there. It was titled When Pigs Fly. So Virgo, if you haven't saw that yet, check it out. I will link the playlist at the end of the video. You have Wanderlust. Now, Wanderlust is showing up as that gypsy soul activated within you. You are asking yourself, what else? What else is possible? without limitations. It's like you've opened the floodgate here of abundance and you're saying, what can I do to expand my business? How can I show up and live my best life? How can I connect to new people or invite new love into my world? How can I showcase my talents or perhaps gain a new skill set through new education? I see that you are wide open to experiencing all that life has to offer, Virgo. This is a very beautiful place to be. Now, I also see that some of you could be dealing with real estate. This could be world travel, global, international. And I also see that you may be putting yourself out there in new ways, expanding your reach and connecting with maybe a broader market. This could be a new target market, or putting yourself out there on social media. This may be a new platform, or even connecting with a new business or a new corporation when it comes to your career and finances. So Wanderlust is showing up, and we also have the map. So it feels like you are trusting in your inner compass, but you're also very brilliant, and you're going to stay grounded as you think about things logically. So it's not like you are moving into the unknown with naivety. You're actually very wise, very mature, and I see that there is a splash of spontaneity here, which can have you stepping out of a comfort zone, but it's actually going to change your world in ways that you never thought possible. You have action here. It's go time. Now, action reminds me here of the Chariot, and I feel like you are stepping into alignment with your highest timeline here, with your highest potential. And this is also about forward movement. January is giving you the green light to go for it. Whatever it is that you are setting your intention towards, you get to back it up here with action. And I feel like consistency will pay off, but I also feel like your energy levels are starting to increase, especially if you are taking better care of your health. And again, if there's been any gut issues, sometimes that's connected to the solar plexus chakra, which has to do with our power and where we give our power away, and taking action steps and making choices that leave us feeling more empowered, because it has us stepping into courage. All right, let's look at some of the tarot cards that are showing up for you this month. We also have authenticity at the bottom of the deck. I just want to share this with you for a moment here, Virgo. You are someone who is uniquely you. And I feel like you are being guided to show up unapologetically yourself, all of you, no holding back. You have worked long and hard to get to where you are at in your life. You're not meant to dim your light for anyone. And I see that you have a unique vision. We all have a vision, and sometimes that vision can get tainted by old stories or old conditioning. But I have a feeling you are opening up that third eye chakra, and you are saying, what do I want out of my life? What does this feel like? What does this look like? Because if you can envision it, you can create it, and you can action it up. And I see here that you are someone who is very genuine. You are someone who is very authentic. You are the real deal, and people trust you. Look at what we have at the bottom of the deck. We have the Chariot showing up here. So that is confirmation that you are moving forward. I see here there's career advancement possible. And for many of you, you are moving towards a new location or expanding, again, a business, or stepping into even a new persona or a new identity. Yes, because some of you have gone through something that has been very difficult. You have the Page of Wands here, which is all about new beginnings, fresh starts, communication, messages, and news. And you also have that combined with the Empress, which is beautiful. But what you are shedding, what you are really, I don't even want to say shedding, but accepting. Yeah, there's more of an acceptance of this, accepting a shadow period of your life, because that's why self-love is here. You also have the Three of Swords. So there is something that you have been working on releasing where it doesn't take hold of your life, of your mind, of your body in such a way that holds you down or suffocates you. That's not always easy to do when we go through trauma or we go through challenges or something that has created instability in our lives. And I see here that you are alchemizing this situation, meaning you're taking what you have learned and you're transmuting it. You're turning it into something actually quite beautiful. Meaning if you have gone through a difficult time financially, it feels like you've learned a lot about yourself. You've gained confidence. You know how they say if you have really worked towards something, or if you save up your money and you really buy something that you like, you appreciate it that much more instead of it just being offered or handed to you. That's what I'm getting here. And it may come in the form of an experience where you appreciate it or appreciate yourself that much more because you've made it out of something, or you're on the other side here of some sort of pain, and you get to look back, and instead of victimizing yourself or instead of feeling like a failure, you're saying, wow, I didn't give up on my dream, or I didn't give up on myself, or even though that brought me to my knees, you still came out on top. And I see that the Page of Wands is offering up a beautiful opportunity here to feel like you have a new sense of purpose. Because sometimes when we go through a Three of Swords, whether that's a loss of a loved one, the loss of a job or home, or difficulty, it could be a betrayal. Someone may have hurt you. There may have even been third-party energy where you felt slapped in the face. I see that you are shedding that identity and you're stepping into a role that feels connected so strongly with this Empress, that feels supportive, that feels nurturing, that feels abundant. She is highly creative. She is very fertile. The Empress is the most abundant energy in tarot. And you are about to give birth to this new version of yourself. And you may even be stepping into a new role within your own career sector, within a relationship. Some of you could quite literally be giving birth after a loss, or after maybe infertility issues here. And I also see that there is a connection that you may be healing with your own inner child or with a child of your own. All right, because pages can represent the children. And the Three of Swords tells me that you have been reparenting yourself. All right, you've been reparenting because some of you may not have received the type of love that you truly deserved, maybe as a child, or someone was emotionally unavailable because they were working through their own hardships. But instead of looking back and placing shame or blame or guilt or resentment, that's what you have done a lot of work around. So self-love trumps everything here that has at one point held you back. Those old stories, those old beliefs that have limited you. You're stepping into, again, one of the best eras of your life. I really feel like 2026 is a powerful year for you, Virgo. All right, let's look at career. Now, again, we have the Chariot here at the bottom of the deck. So the Chariot is career advancement. It is motivation and momentum. It's also connected to Cancerian energy, Virgo, which is emotion. So emotionally, it feels like that is the driving factor. You want to feel healthy. You want to feel happy. You want to feel abundant. You want to feel like you can tap into your creative abilities. You don't want to feel like crap, right? You don't want to feel bogged down. You don't want to feel heavy, which means you are shifting your mindset. You're shifting your actions to align with how you want to feel. And that's where the Chariot comes in. So a whole new drive, a whole new direction, moving forward here, kicking off in January. But many of you have already planted the seeds. I see that you are well on your way to creating this abundant life that you want for yourself. You have here the Sword. Now the Sword, we have the Three of Swords, but the Sword represents, I almost said thorn, interesting. So the Sword represents a breakthrough. You may have even dealt with a legal battle, a legal situation here that may be concluding, or there could be forward momentum here, or your mindset could be taking a giant leap forward here. And I see that some of you have gone through money conflicts or a back and forth battle, or you've lost money. Maybe you've had to cut your losses here, or there was a loss. And there could be a bittersweet energy around this where there could even be some sort of recompensed energy, something that was owed to you. It could even be like an inheritance or back pay, but it feels like you've had to maybe suffer to get to this point, but there will be a breakthrough. And I'm getting 3 for you. So it could be, the 3 of Swords. It could be like 3 weeks. Within the next 3 weeks, something could be playing out no later than the next 3 months. It feels like 3 weeks to 3 months is significant. A big breakthrough where the 2 swords coming together at a crossroads is saying there's clarity coming in, there's a choice, there is a finalization here or a conclusion to something that has felt difficult. Now you have the underworld. The underworld tells me you may have even dealt with some shady activity. I'm getting rentals or rental agreements. This may have to do with a landlord contract. For others of you, it has to do with perhaps an ex-spouse or ex-family. I'm getting like child custody battle or child support because that page is here. I also see with that Empress energy, some of you may have dealt with a mother who was ill in some way, and you may have felt like you were struggling maintaining your own health while trying to take care of someone else or trying to heal from maybe what someone else had contributed to your own belief system in some way. Could be a mother here because we have that Empress. But I also see that you are connecting with a support group or a support system, potentially an Empress in your life. This could be a grandmother, someone in spirit, or a coach or a teacher or a therapist, someone who really does see you for who you are and they want the best for you. And with the underworld, when it comes to finances here, you may be finding unconventional ways to explore new income sources. So as the world evolves, Virgo, so can your means of earning money. Now, oftentimes the swords connects to technology. So you may be creating a business online. Some of you, there has been disappointment. Perhaps you've started a YouTube channel and you hadn't received the views that you would have liked, or it feels like it's not growing as much with that Empress here. It feels like something maybe in the beginning stages, but I feel like you are shifting your perspective here. You're creating, right? Creation with that Empress, and you're creating out of self-love. And that Wanderlust tells me that this has the ability to really expand. If you are bringing a business online or if you are putting yourself out there in some way, because you are very creative. Many of you are artists. You have the gift of nurturing. You may be caregivers or you may be in a spiritually based profession. And I see that you absolutely have the ability to generate income here with the underworld. It says sex, death, hidden knowledge, probing into the mysteries of life. So many of you may even talk about things that are uncomfortable or a bit taboo, such as shadow work or inner child healing. It may even be talking about finances here or hidden energies that sometimes people kind of shun. It could even be astrology or tarot, anything that people don't understand, they tend to judge. And I see that you are no stranger to that type of judgment in some way, but it's not going to stop you from putting out the message that you need to put out or hearing what you need to hear. Because we have the light bulb coming through. Now you are fueled with inspiration and you are also taking, this is interesting, you're also taking something that has been difficult and this inspires you. So for example, I have a family member who does not take the best care of themselves, our views are very different. Our values are very different. And by witnessing this individual's lifestyle and what they have, how they are going through their lives, it actually inspires me to stay healthier and to not veer down that path. So sometimes we can take difficulty or challenge or looking at other dynamics that are less than, and it gives us a greater appreciation for our own life, and it can even inspire us to live and lead a better life. That's what I'm getting here for you. Now, the light bulb, Virgo, has to do with lucrative ideas that have the ability to generate income. So if you have any sort of belief that says you can't make money doing what you want to do, because underworld society says you can't make money being a poet, right? You can't make money being an artist, or only the top few percent of people make money on YouTube. So it can be societal standards and pressures that are pushing you and limiting you. But I see that if you drop into the self-love piece and create from that energy, you will attract and you will materialize success. Now, you have the ability to become an entrepreneur if that is something you are interested in. Perhaps you are already kind of expanding upon that. Some of you may be wanting to sell homes. This could be Airbnbs. I'm getting rentals. I also see some of you traveling globally. Maybe you are working from a van and traveling the world and experiencing different cultures and just able to work from anywhere. I see some of you really are enjoying freedom. So maybe working from home is important. That could be a value, or having the flexibility or freedom to work from anywhere. But I also see that there's a new job opportunity coming in after a few disappointments. Some of you didn't get a job that you really wanted, or you didn't get that raise or that promotion that you really wanted, Virgo. But the Page of Wands tells me there is a new offer coming in. And it feels much more aligned with something that is creative. And it could even be, as you see, creative work and new job, it could be something that suits to your skill set, or it could be a role that kind of contours to your gifts in some way. I mean, I don't want to say it's a role that's made just for you, but for some of you it could be. I also see that you have ideas that the company could benefit from, or if this is your own company, you have some new ideas that you may be sharing with others. And I see that you may also be bringing someone on board to kind of implement some of these plans, whether this is working for another company or working for yourself. Getting a second opinion or getting a helping hand could be very beneficial, because then you don't have to kind of burden the weight on your own shoulders here and feel disappointed like you are not giving it your all. All right, let's look at love. What do we have here for love, family, relationships? When it comes to love, you've had your heart broken. Three of Swords isn't a stranger when it comes to some sort of heartache or disappointment. But I do see here with the Empress, you are brave enough to love again. And I see you are vulnerable enough to open your heart again after loss. And you are moving forward here and saying, I want to invite love into my heart again. And I don't want to continue being in a space that feels void of connection or void of companionship, whether this is with a bestie, whether it's with a lover, whether it's with a family member. There is this uniting energy that is coming to mind. Excuse me one moment, Virgo. Just take a little drink here. Does anybody else drink the teas that have little quotes on the tea bag? I love them. All right, we have wedding rings. Some of you may be married. You may be engaged or in a high-level commitment, or this is something that you are seeking, something that you're wanting to manifest in your life, but your heart's been broke, and there may be a hope that says, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, but I see you reframing because you are genuine. You are lovable. You are worthy of attracting soulmate energy into your world. And if you have been in a dynamic for quite some time, some of you may have even felt like you've gotten into a role of parenting your spouse or feeling like you've had to take care of someone. If there should be an equal energy, it also feels like you may even have like an adult child potentially living with you. And it just feels like you are taking action when it comes to some good energetic boundaries, but also not sacrificing your own needs or your own life at the expense of another. It feels like there can be a negotiation here, or you get to address something that comes from a place of maturity, that comes from a place of wisdom, not fear, not pain. Now, you have wedding rings, so I definitely see that many of you are either in a soul connection or are calling in a very significant connection. This is everlasting love. It is devotion. And there may even be a renewal or a spark showing up with that light bulb where you and someone are reigniting that passion after a argument or after a disagreement. I also see here some of you may be going through a bit of a divorce because the wedding ring did show up in reverse. So there could have been a disappointment or something that has kind of broken your heart, and you're moving into the year saying, I don't want to continue breaking my own heart over and over again. I am ready to expand my horizons and step into a more confident, creative, fertile version of myself here with that Empress, meaning you're giving life to a new version of you, Virgo. Now we have the coffin here. There certainly could have been a loss, as I've mentioned. It says new beginnings, liberation. You have been reborn and you have undergone a huge transition in your life, Virgo. And it says there has been a tragic ending here for you, but this is what is coming to a close. So it connects with what I was mentioning earlier. So I definitely feel like you're stepping into freedom or alignment here where you feel like there's a new sense of purpose, like life is worth living again, okay? Now you have the healing heart. This also connects to February energy. It always looks like those little candy hearts that have the sayings on them. It says healing heartbreak, toxicity or addiction, and abusive relationships. If you are in any sort of energy that mimics or resembles this, I feel like you're getting out, okay? You are getting out, you're healing it. And if you are coming out of this and physically you're no longer in that relationship, it may have taken you a lot of time. And sometimes it takes longer than we think, but there is no timetable for healing. Be gentle, be kind with yourself, especially if you're coming out of perhaps a narcissistic relationship or if there has been physical or emotional or mental abuse. I see that it is still very important to maintain your own healing tools. So continue, even if you feel like you're better. You know, so oftentimes we don't go to the doctor or we don't go to therapy unless something in our life is showing up as tragedy or a challenge, but maintain that. Continue to talk even when things are good. Continue to keep up on your routines or your rituals even when you're feeling better, okay? Because that incorporates good habits, and it's those habits that change your life. So when it comes to love, you certainly have something very beautiful that you are about to give birth to. Some of you quite literally a baby or a child. This could be a year where houses join. There could even be a new development, new family members meeting, a new best friend with this Page of Wands, or a new love connection showing up. It's very beautiful. It really has the potential to get on track and you can move forward into a higher level of commitment here. And for those of you that are on your own at this time and you're still healing, I feel like you absolutely have the ability to open yourself up to love. That Page of Wands says you're open and you are excited about the potential, but I also feel like there's a bit of hesitancy here, but not so much that it's going to hold you back from meeting the love of your life, if that's something you are wanting. All right, Virgo, let's look at your archetype. What archetype is guiding you in the month here of January. I really love this deck. It is the Wild Unknown. Oh my goodness, look at that. You have the mother. So double mother energy here. Let me find this in the guidebook for you one moment. All right, Virgo, we have, again, the mother, the great mother, the feminine, the source, the empress. We begin our archetypal story with the mother's love. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Regardless of our birth story, each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warmth womb of the mother, where she offered resources from her body for the building of our own. Yet her tale is not so simple, as the mother, especially on the earthly plane, contains both light and dark aspects of the feminine. With the best of intentions, the mother wraps her loving arms around her creations and begins to grip what she has meant to set free. The mother both nurtures and prohibits growth. She gives, yet clings. She creates, yet restricts. Amid this complex energy, the mother holds the key to the eternal challenge of love. If you want to go deeper in this energy, read the Tao Te Ching, which I'm actually a really big fan of. I love the Tao Te Ching. Wayne Dyer has a great book that really breaks it down. But chapter 1 of the Tao Te Ching, and then imagine the mother of 10,000 things. So when the mother is showing up as the light aspect, which you have the light bulb in your reading, so there is a light going off here or turning on. This is glowing. It is generative, creative, and nurturing, which we see in your reading. When it's showing up as the dark, and that's that 3 of Swords, right? So it feels like there is the complexity of it. It can be dim. You could feel exhausted, controlling or controlled, or limiting. The mother is part of the trifecta, maiden, mother, crone. Because of the relationship between them, take special note when these cards appear in a reading. So I'm just going to pull from the deck here. I'm just going to pull up just to see if any of the other ones show up. We have the nectar. Okay, so it's not the maiden or the crone. The nectar is actually sweet results. When we think of like honey, when we think of agave, I feel like there is something sweet here that you are leaning into, the light aspect. So something creative, something nurturing, something generative. All right. And lastly here, notice how the mother archetype is expressed in nature. This is perhaps the most balanced and benevolent form of the mother's grace. Beautiful energy. It reminds me of this last summer. I had the pleasure of connecting with a beaver family. And what I didn't know was the family of beaver, the mother and father play a significant role in the upbringing of their kids, their children. And in this specific setting, the father had died. I paddleboard often, so every week I'm out on the board 4 to 5 days a week, and I was able to interact with this family of beavers, and it was just the mom and her 3 babies. And I was blessed to be able to see the mom beaver nursing her young out in the wild. And I was able to watch her take on that role of teaching the children, and even though that father energy was not there, she still had to kind of play this role. So some of you could be single parents. Some of you may have grown up with a single parent. And what I see with the mother, look at that, the mother of pearl. Mother of pearl here could be significant. I'm just looking. I actually have mother of pearl abalone shell here. Some of you could be working with this. You may wear or have pearls. Someone that has crossed over maybe loved pearls as well. But pearls are formed in the shell when an external energy is trying to get into the oyster. The oyster secretes this white milky substance that hardens over time and eventually turns into the pearl. So basically it is a healed wound The pearl is a healed wound. You, my beautiful Virgos, are healed wounds. You are the pearl here, and there's nothing that you cannot create in your world. That is what I have for you, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you did enjoy the reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And if you are interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, please do visit the description box below or intuitivesoulcoach.com.